Pay attention to the girl who is riding a scooter through a downtown alley. Her name is Elijah Williams, 15 years old. A nearby camera shows 5 kids moving down the alley on scooters. At the end of the alley, her brother turns back after seeing a group walking toward the intersection. One person in that group looks in their direction, pulls a handgun from his waistband and fires 4 times. Elijah falls to the ground. Both groups run in different directions. The shooter keeps his face covered as he leaves the area. On May 18, 2024, Grand Rapids, Michigan, just before midnight. The victim is Elijah Williams, 15 years old. The suspect is Josiah Pittman, 18 years old. Officers with the Grand Rapids Police Department rushed toward the alley seconds after the 911 call came in.
No! Stop. You need to move right now.
That's my sister. That's my sister. Please let me go.
A caller reported hearing several gunshots and seeing someone on the ground not responding. By the time officers reached the narrow passage, family members were already running in behind them. One voice broke through the scene shouting, "That's my sister, please let me go." Officers began CPR, working quickly, but one of them soon stated the reality aloud. Victim appears to be beyond medical here. EMS arrived and confirmed that Elijah had died where she fell. The alley was blocked off as officers searched for casings and witnesses. A shaken relative said, "That's my blood sister. I don't know nothing. I just got here." Detectives already knew that the CCTV footage showed the shooting clearly, but the shooter's face remained covered from start to finish. Patrol units were given only a general description. A dispatcher radioed out, "Black male with a hoodie, black and white sweatpants, and dreads." As word spread that Elijah had been killed, friends and family began gathering near the scene. Detectives asked the family to come to the station the next morning. They explained that the investigation had already begun moving quickly, saying, "We have a really good start on this case." The family asked about the video. They were told, yeah, we got video and we've watched. There's a guy right now actively pulling cameras throughout the city. The only unfortunate thing is we can't positively identify the shooter's face. The family shared information they believed was important. They explained that a recent fight involving one of Elijah's friends might have led to the shooting and that the actual target was someone else. A detective acknowledged the lead but reminded them, "That's called hearsay from the court's eyes. We have to hear it from the people that actually saw it." Even so, the family believed the detectives were committed. "At least I know that y'all are trying," one of them said. The investigator replied, "I'm going on about 12 hours of sleep last 3 days. Believe me, it's a priority." Detective Brandon Romero spent the next 2 days reviewing surveillance from around Grand Rapids. He tracked the shooter's movements block by block, watching him walk through downtown, link up with friends, and eventually appear in the same group seen during the shooting. The mask stayed on until after the murder. Then about 2.5 blocks away, the suspect was finally captured on camera without it. He walked down a sidewalk, met with the same group of teenagers, and got into a car. With a clear image, Detective Romero called in 2 people familiar with the neighborhood, including Elijah's sister. He told them he needed a name. When the image appeared, the response was immediate. "Yes, that's Josiah Pittman." One of them added, "That's irritating, clear as day." Josiah attended the same high school as Elijah. They recognized him instantly, but police still lacked something critical. They did not have a witness who was physically present during the shooting. Without that, they couldn't make an arrest. On July 1st, 2024, police released surveillance clips of the shooter's group. 5 teens were visible near the gunman when the shots were fired. That same day, Police Chief Eric Winstrom addressed the city. When we lose a 15-year-old to gun violence in downtown Grand Rapids, that falls on the whole city, he said. He urged the public to help identify the people in the footage, stand up, help us, and do the right thing. Information soon came in. A caller identified one of the girls in the clip. Detective Romero went to the girl's home and spoke with her mother. He explained, "She's not a suspect, but it is very important that we talk to her." The mother agreed, but no call came for 20 days. When detectives reached out again, Romero made the situation clear. "She was within feet of the individual who fired the shots," he told the mother. "If you lied during a violent crime investigation, you can be charged with it." This time, progress followed. Before detectives could meet with the teen, officers on patrol received a call about a stolen vehicle. They found it quickly. As they approached, 2 people jumped out and ran. The suspects cut through yards, hopped fences, and tried to escape. One officer closed in and tackled a runner to the ground. When asked his name, he answered, "Josiah." Asked again, he said, "Pittman." At first, the officers had no idea who they had caught. Then the record check came back. They had just tackled the prime suspect in the killing of a 15-year-old girl. Josiah was taken into custody, but detectives chose not to mention the homicide. He was booked for the stolen car and fleeing police, and released on bond. Soon after, the witness interview finally took place. The girl explained she had been in the same car as the shooter earlier that night. She described a white balaclava the shooter wore and confirmed that he had removed it at times. When shown a 9-second clip from downtown, she pointed immediately. "That's the dude. I was in the passenger." This was the confirmation detectives had been waiting for. Romero and multiple units moved toward the residence where Josiah was believed to be staying. A K-9 team, cruisers, SWAT officers, and a drone were positioned around the neighborhood. At one point, an officer believed he spotted Josiah down the street, but after moving in, they realized it was someone else. The team held position and issued commands directly to the house. Josiah stepped out slowly with his hands raised and followed each instruction. He was taken into custody and brought to an interrogation room. Inside, Detective Romero asked him directly if he knew why he was there. Josiah said no. He asked if he remembered being downtown on the night of the shooting. No. He asked if he knew a 15-year-old girl had been killed. Yes, Josiah answered. The detective asked him what he thought should happen to the person responsible. Josiah said, "I don't know." Romero pressed harder. "This entire incident was captured on camera. I want to hear your side." Josiah replied, "I don't recall." When the detective showed multiple screenshots of him downtown, Josiah continued denying being there. Romero asked him plainly if he planned to stick with that story. Josiah raised a thumbs up. "This is no longer juvenile stuff, buddy," the detective said. "Do you know how severe this is? And you're okay with eating a murder charge?" Josiah said, "I don't got no story to tell." With no cooperation, the interview ended. The case moved into the court system, where prosecutors filed charges for second-degree murder and felony firearm. During arraignment, the judge read the charges aloud, describing the homicide as a life offense. Josiah appeared indifferent, leaning back and looking away. He pleaded not guilty at first, but as the evidence mounted and witnesses stepped forward, he changed his plea to guilty. His sentencing took place on October 8, 2025, shortly after his 20th birthday. Leja's mother addressed the court, explaining the depth of the loss her family faced. "Leja's death did not only take my daughter, it shook my entire family. My other children are grieving deeply and live in fear that the same thing might happen to them." She also shared, "I lost my son in 2011 to an unexplained death. The loss has been even harder to cope with my daughter." Josiah's attorneys spoke about his unstable childhood, describing years of violence, neglect, and fear. One attorney explained that his life had created an immense trauma mindset and that he believed he was in constant danger. They said he had shown remorse, though his demeanor in the courtroom suggested otherwise. When invited to speak, Josiah read from a prepared statement. First of all, apologize to the victim. Even though Leisha was not my intended target, I was wrong. I hope the family and friends can find it in their heart to forgive me, he added. Forgiveness is the gift that I honestly do not deserve. The judge sentenced him to 2 years for felony firearm, followed by a minimum of 300 months and a maximum of 600 months for second-degree murder. Josiah smirked and laughed to himself throughout parts of the hearing. He was taken to the Charles Agler Reception and Guidance Center to begin serving his sentence. His earliest release year is 2051. His maximum discharge year is 2076. Leisha's family continues to honor her memory. Her sister later said that losing her felt unreal, like she might walk through the door at any moment. She remembered her younger siblings' humor, joy, and the way she could lighten any room. She made even the darkest times good, she said. Thanks for watching Undocumented. Every case shown here is based on real events, though sometimes reenactments are used when original footage is not available. The message is real. Stay aware. Be careful. Subscribe and hit the like button for more undocumented crimes like this.